It's a gorgeous Texas night, stars blazing over a cliffside Victorian mansion that looks like a dollhouse with a wall of glass. Inside is Sophie Matthews' massive Sweet 16 party, complete with a caterer, DJ, infinity pool, the works. Everyone's dressed to the nines, sipping champagne and dancing beneath twinkling lights. Sophie is a picture of a happy birthday girl, ready to blow out the candles on her three-tiered red velvet cake. And just as the music swells, boom! A body suddenly plummets from the second-story balcony onto the marble steps below. Glass shatters. Guests scream. Red wine goes flying. I mean, whoa! Talk about a party foul. The publisher blurb even hypes it as a lavish Texas-sized Sweet 16 that turns deadly in a classic locked room mystery. Not kidding, this night is about to get insanely wild. So what's going on here? Let me back it up for you. The girl of honor, Sophie Matthews, is turning 16. Her dad, Dr. Ethan Matthews, is a rich, handsome psychiatrist who built this crazy mansion and is determined to throw the party of the year for her. Seriously, it's a glass-walled cliffside castle. Think luxurious Texas mansion with an infinity pool and a killer view. For Sophie, tonight should be a dream, but we soon learn she's really a side character in this story. The true star, and also the most stressed out person, is Dani Matthews, Sophie's new stepmom. Dani was a famous cake baker on Instagram and is dying to prove to Ethan that she's a great wife and mother. Right now, she's juggling a newborn baby, little Charlotte, and major postpartum anxiety. Let me paint Dani's picture. She's so sleep-deprived, she's been literally hearing her own baby's cries in empty hallways. She's convinced this gigantic mansion is haunted by the mother, an old ghost who cries over lost children. Fun fact, we eventually learned the mother was Ada, a former owner who lost her baby and jumped from the balcony in grief. So yeah, extra creepy. Dani just wants one perfect party to show off to Sophie, to make that gorgeous cake she's famous for, and maybe score a few brownie points with Ethan. But man, she is a wreck. Post-baby fog, home renovations anxiety, and strange attacks of memory loss. A few hours before the party, Dani even finds a nasty note on her mirror calling her a crazy bitch. Someone grabbed a lipstick and scrawled it on her bedroom mirror during the party. She flips out, heart pounding. Who would do that? Well, spoiler, it was one of the guests. But Dani? She's scrambling to hold it together. This is seriously like watching a horror movie from inside her head, and she is our protagonist here. Exhausted, hormonal Dani who just wants to be a good mom to baby Charlotte and a good wife to her husband. By the time party hour hits, Dani's meltdown threat level is high. Meanwhile, there are other key players roaming the grounds. There's Kim Matthews. Not exactly a guest, but Sophie's real mom and Ethan's ex-wife. Kim helped Ethan build this whole dream life. Yes, she funded med school and renovations, so when he suddenly ditched her for 23-year-old Dani, she never got over it. Post-divorce, Kim has basically been a walking, talking tragedy. She lost her veterinary license after an overdose on her own dog's meds, became the town drunk, and has been nursing a grudge so big it's practically an heirloom. Tonight, Kim is here too, clutching a glass of bourbon and shooting icy glares at Dani. She's still bitter about that Texas mansion slipping out of her life, and you just know she'd like to see Dani squirm. Then there's Orleth, the nanny from Ireland. She's this older lady who's sort of Dani's live-in mom right hand. Orleth is a total superstitious kindred spirit. She's been basically chanting Gaelic prayers all night and warning everyone there's danger in this house. She calls the place a thin place between worlds. To Sophie's friends, she might sound like a kook, but listen, Orleth knows the house's backstory. In fact, brace yourself, years ago, her own teenage daughter Katie died under mysterious circumstances after dating a pretty awful guy. It turns out, as we'll discover, that Ethan was that awful guy. Katie was his lost fiancée at one point. So Orleth has some very personal reasons to protect baby Charlotte now, her own grandbaby stand-in. She's the type who will mutter about grim reapers and the mother like a ghost hunter. Not the smoothest conversationalist, but hey, without her, people wouldn't think the place was haunted at all. Michaela Torres is Sophie's best friend of 10 years. On the surface, she's all smiles and bows, but we should file her under eyeballing suspicious behavior. She's not the meek girl everyone assumes. She's got some fire. Michaela's hanging around in the crowd giving Dani side eyes. She's always popping off to text in corners. If you think there's something going on between Michaela and Ethan, well, you're catching on. Because yes, spoiler alert, she's head over heels for Ethan. And then Curtis, he's Ethan's best friend and business partner. Also, Ethan's boyfriend or husband, we find out. Let's just say Ethan's got at least one very close male partner. Curtis is acting as Ethan's designated party sidekick. He's gently holding Dani's hand whenever she freaks out, whispering, "It's okay, you're doing great," probably giving her more Xanax under the table. So picture the guest list: Ethan and Dani, Kim and little Sophie, Michaela and Orlith, baby Charlotte sleeping upstairs, Curtis, and a bunch of rich friends. Everyone's invited in. Not everyone will get out alive. The tension is thick. Cheesecake bites on silver platters, bubbly toasts, cameras flashing. Yeah, it's an amazing party on paper. But as the hours tick by, it's like everyone is silently waiting for something to go wrong. Setting the stage, Kelsey Cox wastes no time with slow build-up. The day of the party is basically a ticking clock. In the before chapters, yes, the novel alternates scenes, we see Dani trying desperately to keep it together while listening to Orlith whisper, "Danger lurks, be careful." Dani is peeking out curtains, convinced she sees someone in white skulking outside the window. She's hearing phantom baby cries in the hallway, which, if you didn't know, is PTSD/hallucinations from her postpartum depression. Meanwhile, in after chapters, we're teased that something tragic has happened. The police are arriving and everyone's staring in horror. We, the readers, know someone is going to die, but at first we have no idea who, and that's the genius of this setup. Anyway, it's finally nighttime, the lights are on, the guests are milling around, and it's time for the cake ceremony. Dani, practically in tears, brings out Sophie's custom 3-tiered cake. Did I mention Dani is a pro at cakes? It's stunning. Sophie squeals and starts counting down. 5, 4, 3. People lean in. Cameras flash. 2, 1. Sophie puckers up. Never guess what happens next. Crash! A sickening crunch. The music mutes, dogs howling in the distance. All eyes turn up to the balcony just as a bloody body tumbles over the railing. Yep, someone just fell from the second floor right into the middle of the party. For a millisecond, no one moves. Then Sophie screams. Dani drops the cake. Red velvet frosting splatters on white gowns and tuxes. Kim drops her cocktail. It shatters. Orlith stands pale, clutching a rosary. Michaela puts a hand over her mouth, silent tears in her eyes. The DJ screams. The partygoers panic. It's absolute pandemonium. When the crowd parts, we see the face of the victim, Ethan Matthews, Sophie's own father, lying broken at the bottom of the steps. His expensive suit is torn, hands outflung. Blood pools under him. He's not moving. That tall, charismatic host is now just a pile of traumatic drama. Candles gutter out. The flash goes off one more time, capturing the horror for eternity. Cut to 10 minutes later, sirens wail. Police and paramedics swarm. Sophie is hysterical, fainting until Curtis holds her. Dani is hyperventilating, refusing to listen to Curtis's soothing words. Kim is muttering, "I told you," over and over, leaning against a car, drinking more liquor. Orlith is mumbling, "The mother took him," fingers tangled in her hair. The official story comes next. Police examine the balcony. Miraculously, a small crack is visible in the tempered glass railing. Bad design? A bird strike? Orlith, with tears in her eyes, insists it was an accident. Ethan simply leaned on the banister and it gave way. The cops nod and grab that line. Just like that, it's written off as a freak accident. Ethan leaned too hard and plummeted. Side eye here. Really, these cops are the worst. Sophie is too distraught. She has to be sedated with gentle Valium. They wrap Ethan's body and haul him off with cover sheets. The party is officially canceled. The cliffside mansion is swarming with chalk outlines, and some version of "case closed" is being whispered. Okay, so that's the crisis. But let me actually tell you everything that led up to it. No holds barred, spoilers galore. We find out that basically everyone at that party was hiding something. First up, Michaela's secret. Remember those lipstick insults Dani found? She left them. See, Michaela has been head over heels obsessed with Ethan the whole time, and she wanted Dani out of the picture. She quietly sneaked around scribbling threats so that Dani would freak out, thinking the house ghost was after her. Wild, right? Later, we learn Michaela even snuck out late night to kiss Ethan on the mansion balcony. One night, Dani caught them making out. Poor Michaela. She got caught red-handed with her idol. and Ethan, in panic mode, pulled out a little syringe and stabbed Michaela with it like she was a lab rat. It was midazolam, a heavy sedative that wiped her memory. So Michaela survived, but has no clue why she crashed through a closet door and took a nap. Dani remembered that later. Dani eventually had flashbacks of hearing the noises. Absolutely messed up. The gossipy hints. In Kim's chapter, we also learned Ethan had been lying to Kim the whole time. He never really loved her. He was too busy lusting after younger girls, Katie first, then Dani. So Kim looks at her ex-husband's face on the ground and thinks, yeah, you played us all. She even later realizes, after buying a farm with Ethan's inheritance, how he twisted everything around her and turned her friends against her. She was the jealous ex, but he was the manipulative, lying bastard. Kim's happy now, mind you. She shed that mansion and those memories and went off to plant crops. Had good for her. Dani's meltdown. That front and center wife you saw flipping out, she was triggered not just by postpartum ghosts, but by actual betrayal. At some point during the party, Ethan gets a tip that Michaela was sending the threats. He flies into a rage, yells at Michaela to stay away from his family. But Dani had already suspiciously pulled him aside on the balcony for a confrontation. Dani, mind foggy, suddenly remembers that kiss. She realized Ethan had been fooling her all along. She freaks out, starts yelling at him. Actually, in a tense scene, she blurts out, "I remember that night when I walked in on you and Michaela kissing right here," to his face. Ethan is cornered, quivers, and things get ugly. Orlith's move. Out of nowhere, Orlith bursts onto the balcony just as Dani is screaming at Ethan. Orlith is terrified something violent will happen. And remember, Orlith lost her own beloved daughter Katie to a toxic relationship with Ethan's ex-fiancé years ago. She sees Ethan glaring at Dani like a snake. In a heartbeat, Orlith throws her body between them, slamming into Ethan. She accidentally pushes him toward the glass wall, because here's the kicker. That glass wall had a tiny crack in it, a freak crack from a bird strike earlier. As soon as Orlith's momentum hits, the glass splinters and explodes outward. And just like that, Ethan is falling. It's like a slow-motion nightmare at that point. Ethan's arms windmill for a beat, his eyes go wide, and whoosh, down he goes into the dark pool below. The whole party hears him scream. Heart pounding, everyone bolts out from inside. By the time you blink, he's gone. Is Orlith a murderer? That's the million-dollar question. In that moment, she was just trying to protect Dani. She didn't intend to kill Ethan. She blames it on the crack, and the cops buy it. Orlith later tells them she calmly said, "He leaned on the railing and it gave way." No mention of the push. The cops sigh, throw the accident tag on it, and wrap it up. So who died? The body was Ethan. Not Sophie, not Michaela, not Dani, not Kim. The father of the year is the one who falls. Ethan's corpse is carted off. Sophie is brokenhearted. She has to be sedated. The docs hook her up to an IV. She is distraught. We later see Ethan's death officially ruled tragic accident. In the calm aftermath, every secret explodes. Dani is crying and hugging Orlith. Grateful Orlith was there. They share a knowing glance that they protected each other. Michaela is sitting on the grass crying real tears for once, not because of how she was treated by Ethan, but because she was in love with him. Sophie is in a corner texting her mother Kim that it's all over. Kim, stone-faced, lets Sophie cling to her. She's finally satisfied that Ethan will never hurt anyone again, and Curtis is just standing there, hands in pockets, thinking, well, I guess that went all right. What happens next? The novel's epilogue fast-forwards a year. Kim used her share of the estate to buy a farm way out of town. She's cleaned up her act and laughs about how Ethan probably never saw that coming. Dani ended up opening a bakery, her real dream, and she and Orlith are tight as ever, with little Charlotte running around cake flowers and fairy dust. They even decide to keep Ethan's death on the hush because he was a skis bag anyway. Kim quietly notes to herself, "He gaslit me and turned everyone against me. I lost Sophie for nothing." Everyone moved on, sort of, except Sophie, who still occasionally wakes up remembering the sound of glass breaking that night. But here's the final punch. Was it a murder? Was it an accident? Orlith definitely shoved Ethan, so technically she caused it, but she was saving Dani, not out for blood. The story leaves that on the table.